All right, hello everybody. How's it going out there? David Knight here with Jason Renfro with the podcast. What are they talking about on Podbean and YouTube? If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link to the audio version on Podbean. Well, we're hoping there will be, and vice versa. There'll be a YouTube link on Podbean. Hope everyone's had a good week. How you doing, Jason?
I'm doing good, David. How about you?
I'm doing good. Living the overnight life. I haven't been up that long, so trying to
Same,
get
same.
trying to get some things lined up and verified on the professional front, plus some things I'm trying to get squared away personally. Last couple of days, so a lot of phone calls, a lot of phone calls. I don't like being on the phone like that, but sometimes it's a necessity, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's got to keep at it. Got to keep don't going. I I don't feel like I sleep enough as it is, but
Right, and the fact of the matter is, they probably don't. Like I know, I obviously woke up to the podcast, of course, but tomorrow I have to do an audition read for a short film. Had to arrange that up with someone I helped her for casting for a short film she was working on in California, so she's going to help me read for this one. And the other person's a woman, so I prefer to use a female because in this particular role I have to be. I feel like I'm being interrogated and I'm going to start breaking down and losing my mind and all that. So I'll be as authentic as possible.
yeah,
So
yeah. How dare you?
I know I'm sorry I betrayed you, Jason. I'm sorry. I can't help it. It had
I
to
thought I
happen,
did a
man.
great woman's voice.
And you do a funny one for sure. But yeah,
Sound like an
decided.
angry black woman.
Yeah, and yeah, in regards to this one, I'm not sure what her race is supposed to be. I just know it's female. So, but this one, the script is it's asking for me to like start breaking down, like having panic attack or and start crying or something like that. It's gonna be tricky because it takes a lot for me to get to that point anyway in general. So I'm kind of concerned, like if I would get really involved and I go all in with that, how my day is going to be. I may be a complete wreck all day,
Yeah.
just for like a little 20-minute audition, 30 minutes audition, whatever on this on the StreamYard. So I'm kind of curious to see how that will go. But I think it's a challenge, and there's not a lot of stuff that's regular standard acting that's not a commercial or background that's shot in Charlotte. So I think I need to try to go for it and take the chances I can get. So we'll see what happens with that one.
Well, if you need any help getting to that emotional breaking point, you can call me. I'll give you a pep talk.
I don't know what you're going to say. I'm kind of, it's just out of curiosity, Jason. What would be your pep talk to upset me?
Oh, I will just tell you how shit everything is.
Yeah, that could do it. Well, without saying too much, I'm pretty much being interrogated for discriminatory lending practices. That's my character. So I'm being like the scene just has me like being in an interrogation room with the light on me, and I'm in trouble for doing these terrible things, and it's a part of a system and all this stuff. So interested to see how that will turn out. Uh, but yeah, so I'm
You're
excited about it.
redlining everyone.
Well, nah, I wish it was actually that nice. Not like the early 2000s bubble in which everyone can get along. You get along. You get along. It's like that. Remember that House Hunter shows. Um,
Yeah.
she works for Moto's alligator doctor, and he has a full time job as a gigolo. Budget $1 million. That kind of thing. That
I saw one of those during COVID. She has a $1,200 stimulus check. He has a $1,200 stimulus check.
Yeah, it's funny. I keep hearing this stuff like Trump said, "We're gonna do stimulus checks." Yeah, you ain't doing stimulus checks. Bullshit. That ain't happening. They ain't gonna do that.
Well, I don't know if I've told you this before, but I'd actually be a proponent of UBI.
Right. I think you told me the idea. Yeah.
Yeah, but it would have to get to go to every citizen. I mean, like Elon Musk would even have to get
Oh yeah.
the income because That is equality.
Right, right.
So I mean, whether you like it or not, I mean, because that's the way they do it in like Germany with like their what we I guess we would call it weak benefits.
Okay.
Even no matter even the richest people in Germany get WIC, their
Oh
version of
wow,
WIC,
interesting. Okay. Is it like
because it's equality.
is it a substantial amount, or is it like does it vary based on the income? Do like the rich people just get like $10 and the poor people get a few hundred? How's that work?
I think it's like they get a box, or I might be thinking of Finland. They just get a box every month, every week, or every month
Oh,
with like
okay.
the essentials. Like here's your formula.
Yeah. Right. Right. Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, I think
But
you told.
rich people don't normally sign up for it.
Right. Gotcha. Because obviously they don't need it.
Yeah.
So, so the UBI thing, you discussed that with me. What was your thought process behind that? It's been a while since you actually told me that. Like, what were you thinking particularly with that? They was like $2,000 a month or something like that. You said I don't know what it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. I can't remember what the exact amount was, but it will be like $2,000 to $3,000 a month. And every U.S. citizen, adult U.S. citizen, would get the full amount. And then, like, children would get, a certain amount,
Yeah,
but, or children would get like 500 a month.
yeah, but that would go to the parents, right?
Yes.
As help supporting the kids. Okay,
But there'd be a cutoff after like 3 kids.
all right, gotcha. Because some people have like 7 kids. Give me a UBI check, woo! Though I would
And,
argue, though I would argue $500, $500 a month per kid with 7 kids would be like, yeah, that's we could barely get by on that because we have 7 kids.
well, I mean, if you want to be the dummy who wants to go out and have 7 kids,
Yeah, that's a completely fair point. I'm like, I totally get that. I mean,
if you
so
ain't learned your lesson by the second one,
so would you have to have a job to get it, or would you get it
no, no, no,
regardless?
no, no. You would just, every U.S. citizen, adult U.S. citizen, would get the amount.
Hmm.
But the drawback is there are no other stipends.
Okay, so that means no
No,
social,
no food stamps,
no
no
food.
housing assistance.
Right.
You get nothing. That $2,000 is to cover everything.
Well, so I mean, and think about though in today's economy, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm for quote unquote socialism, but at the same time, in today's economy, that would actually keep people in their houses and not to worry about losing their rent or paying their
Yeah,
rent or utilities. And now, obviously, if you want anything above that, you have to get a job.
yeah,
But
yeah. And that $2,000, $3,000 would be non-taxable. You don't get taxed on that.
right,
And at one time, I think I had done the math on it, and it actually saves the government money.
yeah, yeah, I think you did say that, yeah. Because if you think about the money they put into this, that, and that, and
Yeah, the number of employees that would have to go into the food stamp program to determine who's eligible for food stamps
yeah,
and to make sure the food stamps get sent out.
right,
That's tens of thousands of people
yeah,
that you got to salary, insurance, benefits.
yeah, it's definitely an interesting idea for sure. Though there's such a certain aspect of America. They're against socialism and quote unquote government handouts. But if you look at big businesses and what happens with these multi-billion dollar companies, they get a bunch of that shit all the time. So,
Yeah,
man, if they're going to do that, I think it'd be better if we went to the citizens and we can use that money to put back into business or spend how you want.
yeah.
So so it depends on how you perceive it, but
Yeah.
it's a different mindset here in America than Europe and other parts of the world.
Well, I mean, if you were getting that free money from the government, would you still have a job?
Honestly, yeah. I mean, I would still do something because say I'm getting $3,000 a month, right?
Yeah.
hypothetically. So we're assuming that's the high end. Well, I cover my rent, power, all my utilities, groceries, and I probably might have a car, but I wouldn't have a whole lot left after that, right? So
Yeah.
I would still be doing some kind of work doing something,
Yeah.
and the pressure would be off because I know, hey, I mean, my rent's going to be paid. I don't have to stress about, paying my insurance. I can cover all my essentials, and then I can work to get the rest of it. And
Yeah.
honestly, I would still probably be working full time too.
Yeah.
So,
Like I would still go to my job every day.
oh, I mean, yeah, I mean, your no work job, yes, you sure would.
Hmm.
I
But
don't
I
blame.
mean, like, hey,
Yeah, seriously, I don't blame you. I'd go too. I would too. I mean, even if it was like a job where you actually like once you get busy at your job, once your busy peak kicks in, you're actually having to do a lot of things. Obviously, you would still go, of course.
yeah, I
So
mean,
yeah,
and it actually would help because you don't have to worry about making ends meet every month because
because you got the bases covered,
yeah,
and the extra money you could put into the economy. So it's an interesting experiment for sure. I just don't see anyone here in America ballsy enough to actually propose it and to make it happen, or be so much red tape with it, and other provisions they have to provide. I think it'd be so diluted. That's the only thing I worry about here with that.
yeah, the Republicans would be against it because socialism.
Yeah, exactly.
Democrats will be against it because, oh my God, you're getting rid of a welfare.
Yeah, but again, they don't understand. I mean, if you do the UBI under your proposed idea, if it was to go as smoothly as you thought it would, uh, all those other welfare programs would be cut drastically, and that would save the government money. And the socialism thing, it'd take away all the programs the Republicans, would
Yeah,
would want to get rid of, or they can. Also, it gives them nothing to campaign against if they have that.
yeah.
So, um,
And that's another thing. They're always campaigning for stuff, but never actually fix it. I
right.
mean, you look at what's his name in New York, Mamdani.
Yeah.
I'm campaigning on lowering the cost of living. My first official act in office is to raise property taxes to make
Yeah.
things more expensive.
Oh, yeah. That's so good to do it. Yeah, exactly. Um, it's funny you talk about. I was going to say something. I drew a blank. And oh, yeah, I get it now. It's funny you were talking about, like, I was joking about you going to work and just being there. I'm getting a little taste of that this week. It looks like not totally. I'm getting a little taste because our gas pumps are shut down on the gas side for like
Oh,
probably 4 or 5 days because they're adding some new pumps in. They got to rerun some pipes and all that stuff, or whatever they do. I don't know how that works. However they set that up. So we were at work last night. We had 3 people last night and our manager, and it was like one of the easiest nights I have ever had. It was outside of New Year's Eve and Christmas. It was one of the easiest nights I've ever had. So it was kind of nice. But on the contrary, diesel side was actually kind of busy because the rival truck stop across the highway, their
uh-huh.
showers were broken down.
Oh,
So they came to our side for the showers. So we had a bunch of showers all night, and my manager was having to get all the towels and stuff caught up because the shift before didn't get it caught up.
yeah.
So we were helping out there a little bit as well. But yeah, like the morning rush, quote unquote, just was a third of what it usually is. It was wonderful. I
Yeah.
I get paid by the hour, not by volume, so I really don't freak out if we have a slow morning. I'm totally okay with that.
Uh, the gas stations near my house all have like truck stop gas stations,
Yeah.
and they have the showers and everything. And oh my God, you walk in there sometimes and it's like, why is this dude walking around the daggone gas station in like slippers and his underwear?
Oh no, we don't get in that bad. Everybody's at least covered up. They're covered. They may be wearing some, like, lounge shorts and a t-shirt, but they're covered up.
Well, that's what this guy's basically wearing was like lounge shorts and like what do they call it, the wife beater?
Oh God, yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah, it was just like a towel wrapped around his neck.
Oh yeah.
Wearing some Crocs.
Yeah, I mean, clearly so many truckers are on the road way too long because it's like they don't know how to flush a toilet. Like, look, I was helping with shower here last night, yesterday morning, and I was going there to clean, and they had two toilets that they took massive dumps in, and they didn't flush it. I'm like, all you gotta do is push the thing. It takes 2 seconds, dude. Come on, man.
Uh,
And
at my job, the scale house, the bathroom door is locked.
right,
Well, no, sir, you can't use this bathroom. You can use the other bathroom down there at the meal. You use that bathroom.
right.
Yeah.
But
And
that's always fun.
which our toilet doesn't really flush good,
Oh yeah.
and sometimes it spits at you.
Oh, lovely. I bet it gets clogged really quick.
Yeah, so I mean, you have to like flush it, and sometimes it'll go down,
Yeah.
but then other times it it will only like partially go down, and then kind of floats back out.
Right. Yeah,
So
it's
you gotta wait for it the tank to fill back up, and then
you don't have the water pressure to get it down.
yeah,
Yeah. It's
and
always fun.
yeah, and I don't like using a toilet that everybody else uses.
It's funny because where I work, there are people that work on the diesel side. If they gotta use a bathroom, they'll put numbers shower number 6 out of order, and they'll use the bathroom, and then they'll come back.
Mm.
I think that's funny. So I give them a hard time. So, are you too good for our bathrooms? And they say, yes, I am too good for. Oh man,
Yeah, but you can't trust everybody in the bathroom.
no, you can't. You can't, and especially with truckers, it's like. I mean, I know they were once raised by adults at some point and were told how to use the toilet and how to be potty trained. Yet you think they would at some point. They weren't raised by wolves, but they somehow forget over that span between then and now. I guess I don't know. It's like they're so put away in that truck for so long they forget basic human decency when it comes to stuff like that.
Mm.
It blows me away. I just
Now I do admit that there are some very nice truckers out there.
I mean I'm not knocking all truckers. I'm just saying there are some that are just absolute slobs. I mean it's gross.
Mm.
Most of them come in are nice or courteous or they for the most part pick up to themselves and all that. But you have some that's like, dude, what are you doing? What are you thinking? Why do you do that? Why do you have to hover over the seat thinking that you're actually going to make it? Us men can't even make the bowl and we piss in it most of the time. You think you're going to take a shit over the bowl and make it? Come on now.
Well,
I
that's what
just
they do. They got a bucket in the truck. That's what they use.
well, yeah, but they're not inside their truck. They are in an actual restroom with plumbing. And we have covers too. So we got the little covers you can pull off and lay them down. You can sit down.
Mm.
It's not that difficult. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Yeah, we even got a BBL that goes out to the feed meal.
A BBL.
Yeah.
What's a BBL?
Do I really have to say it for you, David?
Oh! I had to think for a second. Okay, I think I know what that means.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll let the viewer slash listener guess what BBL is. Uh,
You
but
know, I don't want to seem racist.
that doesn't seem like that just seems like you're admiring diversity and humanity with that acronym. So
Oh no, I'm definitely admiring it.
yeah, it's funny. Like last night at work, I was talking to one of the guys. Work. He's a newer guy, right? And he's this bigger, tall black guy. And I told him that my last girlfriend was black, and he didn't believe me. He was blown away by that. I guess I don't look like the kind of guy who dated a black one, whatever. And I showed. I think a conversation started. I was talking about. something with my daughter and how a woman I used to work with, gave her baby clothes, stuff like that when she had her baby. And I said, well, she's a very attractive woman, real nice and everything. And he's like, does David like black girls? So, well, my last one was black. He's like, yeah, right. And I showed him. He was blown away by that for the rest of the morning. He was blown away by that. He's like, whoa. He couldn't believe it. And the funny thing was, he's like, man, I got new respect for you. And then he talked about all the women he dated past, and now he's dating a woman. Oh, so you're dating a white woman now. So what's up with that?
Yeah.
I was giving him a hard time, but
Yeah. At least you're dating somebody.
well, no, that was Alicia Mack. The woman I'm talking to now and seeing now is actually it's white, but the
Oh,
point,
well, still,
but
you're still dating someone.
well, the point is, I told him I'm equal. I'm an equal opportunity employer. Is what I told him. I don't
Oh,
discriminate.
okay. Yeah.
So I said, beauty is beauty. I mean, I don't really care, about race. I mean, if you're attractive and
Yeah.
you get along. Obviously, you agree because your ex is Filipino.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and
Unfortunately, I'm stuck in a relationship now with Sarah Palmer.
uh, or Pamela Henderson,
Yeah.
good old expression. God, I mean, I don't think younger people know that expression. Pamela Henderson, what? I mean,
Yeah.
even though Pamela Anderson's kind of making a comeback, she was in the Naked
The
Gun
Naked
movie.
Gun.
She was funny in that actually, and she was in The Last Showgirl too, which is a really good movie, more of an indie
Mm.
type film. I think it was directed by Sophia Coppola, which is
Yeah.
not Sophia Coppola, but another Coppola. I think it's a granddaughter or a great niece or something of Francis Ford
Yeah.
Coppola. It's actually a really good movie. So
Yeah.
for those
I'll
who
have to
haven't
check
seen
it
it,
out.
check it out. Yeah, for those who haven't seen it, it's Pam Anderson. Not necessarily known for acting per se, but she brought it in this one, and I think it's something that she can relate to. It's a really good movie. So,
Yeah.
um,
Well, I, I'm going to admit something. She was never my cup of tea.
oh really? She was never your type.
Yeah.
Ah, well, she was never like my top tier. I mean, she was definitely hot, but she was never mine. She still looks good for looks great now for someone's like in LA 50s, but
Mm.
I mean,
I just never liked the oversized breasts.
oh really? Are you intimidated by the size?
No, 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 no. I am more of an ass man.
Ah, gotcha, gotcha. Okay, that's fair. That's totally fair.
Yeah. Hence the BBL.
Yeah, I mean, I like a little career myself, you know, and it's like to help, it's like we talked about on another podcast. Also, like women usually my age or a little bit older. I just don't go for younger women that like that very often. I think it's just a different mindset for me.
No.
So, but
We actually had that whole conversation about that.
we did, yeah. So we will rehash that again, but yeah, exactly. In fact, I think episode 2 or something we talked about
Dating
age
over 40. Yeah.
gaps. Yeah. So if you don't want to check that out, it's episode 2 on the podcast on YouTube.
Yeah.
That was an interesting conversation that we had among other things. But so check that out if you want to.
I'm trying to remember. Did you say you would never date someone that age, or I think you said you wouldn't date them if you knew them when they were younger.
Yeah, definitely that for sure. And I also said as a quick rehash that they would have to act a lot older than that. I would have to think they're older than they actually are. Like if I'm talking to someone for hypothetically and they're level headed, we get along, everything gets just kind of clicks and they're 24. Whoa, I would never thought that because they act older, you know. So I think it's all more like an attitude and your maturity at that point for me.
Yeah. What was
So
that whole Valley Girl thing where it's like where they keep saying like and
nah, I can't stand that. No, I can't do that. I want to be able to
It's
have a
like
conversation with you. Yeah, I want to be able to have a conversation with you. So, to get a deeper connection. That's just me. But but yeah. So before we were texting this morning, Jason. I think this would be a cool topic to discuss. I mean, I think it could lead. I think it could lead to something more involved. You've been doing some family genealogy research, correct?
well, yeah, I was sitting at work last night and I got bored.
Okay.
So I decided to open up this genealogy app and 14-day free trial. Let's see what I could do. And I just started and I was like, I got on my maternal grandmother's side, moved the family all the way back to the 1750s.
Wow, that's way back before we were actually America. So
Yeah.
that's pretty amazing. So what can you say about that?
Well, it was interesting. I found like where well he had fought in the Revolutionary War,
Mm-hmm.
and I found two land deeds for him.
Hmm.
One was 200 acres in eastern North Carolina
Wow. Okay.
that he got early on before the Revolution,
Right. Right.
and he died during the Revolution.
Hmm. Okay.
um, how exactly he died is
So so
unsure.
so I was about to say you know if he was killed in combat or if he just died of some other sickness or old age or something like that.
Well, there was one source that said he was captured during the Battle of Charleston,
Oh. Okay.
the Siege of Charleston, and he died like 6 months after that.
Okay, I mean, I'm interested. I mean, it's just fascinating to see all the different battles and because I remember I helped with a reenactment for a promo for South Carolina tourism last year, and it was for the battle. Is at the Battle of Camden, so I was actually
Yeah,
in Camden dressed up as a Revolutionary soldier, or whatever, and I was running around for a whole day in that outfit.
yeah, but yeah, I sent you that text because I couldn't make out the name of the county of the other
Oh yeah.
grant.
That's right. And I was trying to look at it, but I couldn't make it out either. I mean, obviously, of course, back then, as you know, we know is not the modern convenience we have now with computers and typing and stuff like that. This is like handwritten and
Yes,
and cursive of all things. It's not even actual print, so it's like cursive and everything. I couldn't make out what that county was, and I thought it was
yeah,
nice.
there's an M in it.
Yeah.
So that was where I started was at the M, and I was looking at all the counties in that area because it said as a result of his service, his heirs were granted 640 acres of land
Damn.
along the Cumberland River near the fork in Yellow Creek.
Okay.
So it was like, okay, so I look up Yellow Creek,
Right.
Cumberland River, and well, the Cumberland River goes right through North Carolina and eastern Tennessee. Tennessee at that time being part of North Carolina. Because the states didn't actually have western borders; they just stretched on forever.
Yeah. Exactly. Right. Right.
And so I looked that up, and it said it will be somewhere in what is now Graham County, North Carolina.
Ah. Okay.
So I'm actually thinking about taking a trip up to Graham County just to see what kind of records they would have up there.
Right. Jason thinking he might have some land, huh?
No, it's nothing like that. It's just one of the curiosities to me because, like I was
Yeah.
telling you, the text, uh, the land in eastern North Carolina ended up going. I can only find a record of one son
Okay.
for him,
Yeah.
who was born 2 years before he died.
Okay.
So the child was an infant,
Oh
or
wow.
basically, a toddler
Right. Right.
when his dad died. So he would have been the one to inherit the land. So what did they do with the land? Did his mother like sell the land?
Fair
I'm just
question.
curious because I'm just curious about it, or did they just never claim the land because they didn't? There was no adult men.
Right, because for those modern days who may not know, women used to not be able to own land. So you had to be a
Yeah.
white male to own land, and land was considered the most valuable asset during that time. If you had land, that means you could have a farm, plantation, and you can actually have a little homestead and have your own little enterprise going there. If you had enough money to pay people to support. Not everyone who had land was rich per se; they just had the land. But that was the biggest thing would have was land, and if you had land, you had more rights, and you could do more in the government than other people could.
Yeah. And so it was like, I was sort of looking at it, and the land that was in eastern North Carolina was deeded to him, but then it was deeded to his son. And that transaction I found that was from the third owner of the land, his grandson Keenan,
Yeah, right.
who had acquired the land in 1848.
Wow. Okay. Very interesting. Yeah, I don't know much about my family's lineage to that point. I think my aunt Donna would talk about it a lot, but me being a kid, honestly, I just kind of zoned out being a kid. I just know that the funny part was this: my grandma and my aunt Pat had the last name Mickey. They had the last name Mickey, which is actually my dad's first name. So when they got married, they married. She married Knight, right? Which is how I got my last name. And I forget what I'm so bad about this. I forget my aunt Pat's last name. I don't because her kids were already grown up and older, and they're all daughters, and they got maiden name. Their maiden names were gone, so I don't remember that right now. But I just don't know my family like that. I just know at some point we had the last name Mickey, and I think there were some pictures they had of the family, like which would be my I think great grandparents at
Uh-huh.
the early 20th century, and I think they were farmers. But other than that, I really don't know that much about it. So part of me would kind of like to kind of dig in and see what that looks like. Um, now I don't know if we had any landowners or not. I don't know how far my family goes back, but
Mm.
we may have been we may have been like turned century immigrants kind of thing, from what I think. I don't know if we have family here all the way back during that time,
Yeah.
but maybe I
Yeah.
should look into that myself.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be happy to help you start, but one of the things I could tell you is names change. Names change a lot.
Right? Yeah, for sure. Um,
Um,
good.
the spellings. I think I was telling you about that this morning. You look at a name and it sounds the exact phonetically it's the same, but the way they wrote it down, I guess it was all depending on who was doing the writing.
Right? Yeah.
Because I have an ancestor named Justice, but depending on which way you look at it, it's like Justice.
hmm
But then on his tombstone, it's spelled Justus. Just
Wow.
us.
Yeah, exactly. And I think your actual last name that you go by now have like four different spellings, right?
Yes, including a really, really crazy one. I wouldn't even know how to pronounce that.
Yeah. So the one that had the J in it, right? I'm like,
Yeah,
it had a J
Drew. It
in
was
it.
like
How,
Drew.
with
The
your
Drew.
name, how do you get J? That's. I mean,
I-
I also wonder like with the Kurtzman stuff. No, never had the best penmanship. So you wonder if maybe it was just misread when they were
Yeah,
trying to write it over. It's like old ancient artifacts, and they write down and they rewrite from generation to generation. Shit gets moved around and changed,
yeah,
and yeah, and I know some people come to when they moved over here, they had their names changed or their names got mixed up when they came here. I like to use the example of the Godfather Part Two, when Vito tells how he gets to America. His last name was not what they gave him because they couldn't make it out. He was from Corleone, so they made him Vito Corleone. and that's how they
Yeah.
got Corleone was his last name. But I think it was Antolini or something like that. I
Yeah.
don't in the original book and movie.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that should happen all the time, where people would like change their names to kind of like adapt or to integrate into the system, and to avoid discrimination in some cases.
Yeah. And I could believe that because like my mother's maiden name, it ends in EEN, but for like if you go back to the mid the late 1800s to the early 1900s, every woman has her last name spelled different
Oh, okay.
than the men.
Hmm.
Uh, like right now, the last name is spelled EEN,
Yeah.
but back then the men would spell their last name with EEN, but the women would do EIN.
Oh, wow. That's.
So I was like, okay, why are all the women having that last name?
I mean, are they pulling like Hispanic, like Spanish, for example, where you have feminine and masculine? I mean, is that something they did? I mean, I don't
Well,
know.
see
I'm just asking. Yeah.
but that's always what made me wonder. Like, were they Spanish? Were they Spanish
Cantina.
ancestors back then? Because okay, I'm gonna go ahead and give the name. It's Castine,
Okay.
but at one point it was spelled Castile,
Gotcha.
but Casteel.
Yeah. So it's, or
And
maybe
I'm trying to think, where does that come from?
it's funny how I mean, I wonder if they're like translations also could have something to do with it. Like my
Yeah,
last name is Knight, Knight, right? I've seen it spelled like old English as the KN and apostrophe T. I've seen all kinds of weird combinations from back old ancient times, right?
yeah,
So and just variations like you have Nightly with LY or LEY. Sometimes they use NIGHT instead of KNIGHT.
yeah,
um, they may remove the H or whatever. It's just very. I mean, I think the language could have a lot to do with it, like dialects and stuff. It's just
yeah,
very fascinating how things change. Like it's also cool. Look at Old English. It's like people talk like that. That seems a lot of unnecessary words.
yeah. It's like I was watching a video about how Jesus should actually be Joseph
Huh? Really?
because Jesus comes from Yeshua,
Right.
which is actually the Greek form of Joseph. I mean, it would be actually Joseph. I mean, it was translating to Joseph. I can't remember how it was exactly when,
Hmm.
but the Romans translated the Greeks, and the Greeks translated the Aramaic.
Right, right. Yeah. I mean, I just think because certain like you can translate something, and sometimes there's not a word for that in that language. So you
Or
have
sometimes like in Japanese, there's what's that letter they don't? Is it an L?
I have no idea, man. No idea on that one. No
Oh, I
idea.
think it's an L where because they always pronounce it like it's the stereotypical Japanese accent where instead of saying hello, they say hello
Oh god. Like,
because they don't have an L
ah, okay,
in their
gotcha.
language.
So they pronounce it like that because there's no L.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay.
And for example, in early Latin, there was no J.
Hmm.
There was an I, which at the beginning of a letter was pronounced as a U, like YOO.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So Julius Caesar was Julius Caesar. Well,
Okay.
actually, Kaiser, because the C was a K.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, it's just interesting to see how language develop, from region to region and how they happened over time. If you go way back, like, they say like 25, 30,000 years ago, when written language wasn't as well known, they would do like the old cave drawings and stuff like that, and symbols, and how it just evolved over time. I think I just find that it's really a study of anthropology is what that is, and it's
Yes.
very very fascinating. Because I remember taking in college, a freshman year, I took my first official evolution class. I took it in high school, in which we covered evolution as part of biology, but the whole conversation for the day were people talking about that's not in the Bible and that's not Earth was created in 6 days. I'm like, dude, look, you don't have to believe it, just because at the time I was a Christian, so I'm kind of curious to see what they say. What is evolution? I wouldn't know what it was. I just wanted to learn. Not trying to say they were going to quote unquote convert me. He wasn't going to do that. The teacher, but that's how it is in the South. Like anything with evolution, whatever, they kind of just conveniently skip that, or they just kind of overdo it, look brief little overlay, and then move on. But in college, I took an anthropology class because I was curious about evolution, just to see what was taught and how. And even then, this is a general overview. It wasn't even anywhere a in-depth analysis of it. I just wanted to understand the basics, and like the
Mm.
general path. It was very fascinating. I actually liked that class. It's very interesting just to learn, what
Mm.
what they found on that. I made A in
Yeah.
it, so I was pretty happy. But
Mm. I don't think I've ever moved towards atheism. Um, what was that? There was this psychologist who argued like, what harm does having faith cause?
well, I mean, I was talking about evolution, not necessarily atheism. Evolution and atheism.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, I mean,
yeah. I
usually
would.
when usually people would do the grandstanding on evolution is to disprove
Well, I think you're more thinking of evolution versus creative, like intelligent
creationism.
design, intelligent design. Yeah, and again, this is me. Like I said, I was a Christian at the time, so I was going to church every Sunday, hardcore believer, right? And I believe what the Bible said, but I just want to know what the other side was. I just want to know what
Yeah,
evolution was. I was getting frustrated. I'm like, Kim, let's let talk about it. I mean,
yeah,
and just let them talk about it. I just want to know because I've always had the curiosity just to learn things, and I'm like, I'm just curious about what it is. And of course, I learned nothing in that
yeah,
high school version because it just didn't get talked about. And that's what I was saying. But I wasn't mentioning anything about religion at all. I was just talking about the science aspect of it.
yeah.
Yeah, just
But
just
yeah,
put it out there. Yeah.
yeah, I just always thought that like I like the intelligent design argument because it doesn't disprove God. Because I mean, if you look at it, everything is based around the same principle. It's like there is a law to this.
Right. Well, the only issue with intelligent design is there's an agenda and some what I would say Christian propaganda behind it by the fundamentalist groups. They like intelligent design because it's an alternative to evolution that goes against their literal creationist story. Evolution
Yeah.
itself isn't the idea of saying there's no God. It's just talking about the process through scientific observation and study about how we got where we are. That's all it is. It's not
Hmm.
saying yay God or nay God. It's just talking about the process. And there are some denominations of different faiths that fully accept evolution. They have no problem with evolution. It's a totally different thing. Like in fact, a lot of deeply religious people discovered many of the like old universe theories, like the idea of the universe expanding, was discovered by a Catholic,
Yeah,
right?
there's just some religious groups that'll just straight up kill you for
Yeah, and there's that too. There's all kinds of variations. That's true. But the point is, it's like just because someone wants to learn or accepts evolution, which is a scientific fact essentially at this point, doesn't necessarily mean they're anti-God. Doesn't mean that. They're separate. There's science and there's religion. They're not really supposed to be mashed together, but because science came along much after religion did. Modern science, as we know, was like the 15th, 16th century, and religion, of course, been around for thousands of years. So science is a newer thing compared to religion. So they're really not the same. I get annoyed when I try to overlap it,
it.
and
Yeah.
because And then again, and that's my issue in general with fundamentalism. I've never probably believing in God or whatever. That's fine. I respect your right to believe what you want to believe in. To me, it's just you can't kind of make one and the same with science because they're not the same thing.
Well, I think it's a power dynamic. You
Right.
know, when science was coming out and it was starting to make people question the whole religion thing, you know, at the time, you know, those people in charge, the like the popes and everything, you're threatening their hold on society. You're threatening their control over people.
Oh, there was a lot. And look at Galileo, right? Galileo, what did he get?
Yeah.
He was killed, right?
Yeah.
Just for saying that the Earth went around the sun. He was killed for that. The idea that people saying the Earth wasn't flat was an offense that can get you in trouble by the church at the time.
Yeah.
So, but now we know it's obviously not flat, though I would say obviously, but there's some people that somehow bring that shit back that still think the Earth is
Well,
not.
they didn't. They knew the Earth wasn't flat, like in the BC.
Well, they did, yeah, but the church, that part of society didn't get the memo, or they didn't want people to know about that
Yeah.
part.
Well, I mean, it goes back to power. It's like, you know, ancient people can't be that smart because they didn't know God.
Oh yeah, yeah, right, exactly. It's a whole ego thing too, power and ego.
It's like, you know, you went from the Roman Empire where, you know, you have all these great inventions. They had indoor plumbing. And then you get to the Middle Ages and it's like, yeah, we just, you know, I don't want to say what my grandma called that bath.
Oh god.
But it's where you just like, you know, you just wash like your armpits and your groin.
Right, right. Yeah, it's like if you're out, kind of like if you're a military service person and then you're out in the woods or some shit and you got to wash off or something.
Yeah,
There's no
you
access.
take a bath like once a month, but it don't mean you don't wash. You just
You just wash the essential, but not everything else.
yeah.
With time of limited resources, that's kind of what you had to do. I mean, but yeah, I mean, like I said, I just found that the whole idea of just learning what evolution was supposed to be is very fascinating. And back to what you were saying about genealogies and cultures, how they change over time, like spellings and names and how we structure language and stuff. It's all part of that evolution, of how
Mm-hmm.
we got to our modern society. I just find it very fascinating.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, the W. That's an interesting story.
the W. Tell me about the W.
Okay. The V was a W. Was the V was a U in Latin,
Right.
or the U was shaped. You know, the little the V. It was like a V. The letter looked like the letter V.
Right.
So they had this letter called where they would have two V's side by side,
Yeah.
but they called it a U. So when you got two U's side by side, what is that?
It looks like a W.
Well, it would also be called a double U.
Double U. That's true. Yeah. Fair
So
point.
that's how it came to be.
Very simplistic. And hey, we combine it together. It looks kind of cool. That looks like a cool little word. Yeah, we
Yeah.
should use that.
Like I can't remember the old English, the Anglo-Saxon, the AE, like, you know, Aethelred and
Yes, yes.
Aethelstan.
Oh god, like I remember it. It was one of the hardest books I ever edited. It was Paradise Lost, right? And
Uh-huh.
it is, I think it's Paradise Lost, I'm saying it correctly, but it was in like this really old English language. And I'm sitting here editing this, trying to make it modern English. That way it's easier for the modern person to read. Oh, that took forever. And the frustrating part was I've never hardly saw a damn copy of that thing. It took forever to do that. It was like, this is grueling. I mean,
Yeah.
I work on I used to edit books and stuff on Amazon. I haven't done it in a while because they're stricter on public domain stuff, and I really wouldn't make that much money doing this. I'd do other things, but it was like it take me. Some of them I can do just scan real fast. I can get them done in a few days. This one took me a freaking week and a half, and it wasn't that long. It took forever. It was brutal to get that one done. Um,
Yeah.
I charged a little more for it because damn, it took a long time. I'm getting some money for this. If they, which is probably why I'm not selling any of them. But
Yeah. I mean, but you gotta understand that could go into religion too, is where like when you change the meaning of something,
right.
you
I mean,
know, it becomes influenced by your worldview. Like when you translate something from one language to another, it is influenced by your understanding, by your worldview.
I totally agree with that. Absolutely, 100% makes sense. And if you look at the Bible itself, there are several different Bible translations. You have the
Yes.
King James, the New King James, New International Version. There's probably at least a dozen different Bible interpretations of Bible translations out there based on different different types of analysis and whatever, and or for the sake of being modern.
Yeah.
And I remember being raised in a fundamentalist church that they talked about the King James version was the only real version because it came from the original transcripts, and the NIV came from these alternative transcripts. And and I've looked at both, and you read it, they pretty much mean the same thing. There's a few words that are a little different that are interesting, but they pretty much mean the same thing.
Yeah.
The verse is saying essentially the same thing. I'm not getting a vastly different interpretation of that passage because it's stated in different words.
Yes.
It's kind of like, you know, when you have a thesaurus, right? And you
Hmm.
look at the word mad. You can be angry. You can be rageful. You can be, um, you know, upset or things that are similar to mad, but you don't use mad, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I mean, it all depends on your view. I mean, if you have one worldview and someone else has another worldview, they look at a word and translate it, and they're going to come. They can come up with a totally different meaning than you.
Yep. Exactly. And it's I of the beholder, right? You know,
Yes.
um, that's why you have hundreds of different Christian denominations, and
Um.
why some practice foot wash as an ordinance and some don't.
Yeah. I mean, if we went back to England 500 years ago,
Yeah.
would we be able to understand them? Would they be able to understand us?
Probably not. Hell, now go to England now. It's an elevator they have lift.
Yes. Instead of
They
flashlight, they have torch.
yeah. Even now, like American English is not UK English. And to be honest, I hear and if you see spellings like they use O for color, they use OUR like hour,
Yeah.
and we use OR.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I caught myself doing when I was editing books, trying to make it more Americanized, whatever, for American audiences. I would change the OUR to OR
Yeah.
because it was written like 19th century and is made by someone written by someone in the UK. So they
Yeah.
use OUR and our meter is RE instead of ER. They would
Yeah.
just do little things like that. Theater, same for that.
Yeah.
It's just so you have American versions. You have, and that's really not that old. It's 100 some years, right?
Yeah.
So I
And
mean,
I watched the whole YouTube video, and I was completely entranced by this, where they were talking about the two different ways that Americans and British people
yeah,
use the word, and they were like, which one is better?
yeah, right,
And it was like one of the ones that stuck out to me was we call it a sidewalk, they call it pavement.
yeah, on the pavement, right.
Yeah, and they're like, yeah, the sidewalk. It does sound better. It's like it's literally telling you what it is.
Well, pavement, it ain't even pavement. That could be the sidewalk. That could be a parking lot. That could be the entrance to the front part to a door going into to a business.
Mm.
While a
Now
sidewalk
here's
is
one
the
for you.
sidewalk.
Yeah, here's one for you. Why is it where you park at home called a driveway, but you're driving on the parkway?
That's funny, right? You think the parkway would be the walking path of the park,
Yeah.
potentially.
Or where you parked your car.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. That's a fair point.
Yeah,
It's
and
just
you would
little,
drive on the driveway.
yeah, it's funny nuances of language.
But yeah, and then there's the whole aluminum versus aluminium, or
what is it? I've heard someone say. I've heard like it's like aluminum to aluminum. Yeah, there's something like that where I think the
yeah,
Britain when the UK Britain like, sounds cooler. I think it sounds cooler. I think it sounds
yeah,
like sci-fi or something. It sounds creepy.
yeah.
It's like science fiction. I kind of like it.
It also sounds a little more like work.
Yeah, yeah. It's. I just love those differences of language, and it's interesting, just to see how things have changed, people perceive stuff. I think
Yeah,
that's just fun.
yeah.
Um,
The chips versus crisps.
yep, yep. Or well, for our case, fries versus chips, like fish and chips.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty. It's essentially French fries, right? We
yeah.
call it French fry, but they call them fish and chips. Which, by the way, my favorite UK dish. I love fish and chips. I love. I'm into fish a lot. I really like fish
It's
anyway.
not beans on toast.
Oh, talk about the English breakfast.
Yeah, beans
The,
on
the
toast.
English breakfast is interesting. I had it one time. I liked it. I just don't like. I'm not big on tomatoes, so I have to get no tomatoes on it because they have like tomato or tomatoes. As they say tomatoes.
Mhm.
Like they'll have the tomatoes. I'm not big on tomatoes. But other than that, it's actually not bad. They got a sausage. That's a freaking meal. That's like
Yeah.
almost a dinner for most people here.
But yeah, I just saw the beans on toast thing one time, and it bothers me to no end because to me that's like the I'm fucking hungry and I got nothing in the kitchen.
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like something you're looking at your kid, like, damn, I'm hungry, but I don't want to go out or I'll have to make till payday. I got some bread. There's,
And I got a can of
I
beans.
got a can of beans. I can heat it up and just put the bread in the beans like a bowl and just eat it like that.
I oh my god. I mean, it just seems like poverty. I mean, it reminds me back in college where you're heating up the cup of noodles.
The ramen. Yeah, the ramen.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
God.
I will put the little vegetable medley,
Yeah.
the little peas and carrots.
Yeah, and the ramen now. I know about for you, but for me, the older I get, ramen just does not sit like it used to. It is not
No,
processed like it used to. So I used to love ramen, but now I eat it in like very small doses now because my body says no, that's too much salt for you, buddy. You can't eat that
yeah.
no more.
Although there is one type of instant ramen that I will still eat on
What
occasion.
what's that?
And I don't know the name of it. I just know the package. It's like a red and black package. It's a little more expensive. It's spicy as I don't know what.
Oh, okay.
And I like it. And it's again though, I'm going to get me a little can of vegetable medley because
Yeah.
I like adding the little vegetable taste to it,
Right. Exactly.
so it's not quite as
Yeah.
plain.
Yeah. I will say the ramen that comes in like the containers are better than the ones that come in like the pre-packaged wrapping.
Yes.
There it's a little higher quality, and you get a little better broth in there too. Once you put the water in there, you got a good mix of broth. I ordered some ramen for a couple weeks ago. My dog was going to be here for a few days. I wanted her to have something to eat, because she loves ramen. And of course, that's the only downside about ordering on Uber Eats because you really can't see what you're getting sometimes.
Yeah.
Like the waters, I can only order the small little bottles of water instead of like the bigger bottles of water. And you can also like the ramen comes in the cup instead of little package, which I'm getting used to the cup, but I'd rather have the package because that's what I ate as a kid.
Yeah.
So
And oh my goodness, the cup of noodles, that stuff used to be like 5, 10 cents for a package. And
oh, I
now it's like a
know.
huh?
Oh, I know. Like when there were like 8 of us in the house, my stepmom, my dad, and stepmom would go out and buy a bunch of ramen because we eat that really cheap. We can get like a whole big pack of 12 for like $1. a
Yeah,
dollar for a big 12 pack. Now it's like that thing's like $4 now,
I know.
which is still super cheap in today's inflation. But God, man, I mean,
Old man yelling yelling at the sea.
it's like $4 for a thing of ramen. You should have
Yeah.
been at my time. It was $1 max.
Yeah.
We
When
could
I
buy
was your
we
age.
could buy a single pack for 12 cents. I remember like one pack was literally like 12, 14 cents.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Oh,
And that's why I loved it in college because you buy the little can of vegetable, that little 3 ounce can
yeah.
of vegetable medley, the little peas and carrots and everything. And I had one of the nastiest habits with the seafood ramen.
Oh yeah.
I would mix canned tuna in it
Oh, that doesn't sound great.
because you don't need to cook the canned tuna.
No, you don't. No, and to be fair, I have eaten out of the can before. I've actually gotten out of the can and made tuna sandwiches before, so I've done that.
Yeah.
Get a little mayonnaise, some tuna, and that worked fine when I was on especially my bodybuilding kick. I was trying to eat cleaner, so I
Yeah.
would do stuff like that or put mustard on or something like that just to get some taste to it.
Oh,
But
I,
yeah,
I I would heat up my seafood ramen, open up a can of tuna, because again, a can of tuna at the time was about 20 some cent, 30 cent.
right. Now clarify by seafood tuna. Do you mean like it was the flavor of the seasoning on the
The
ramen?
ramen,
Yeah, because
the
my
seafood ramen, like
okay,
it was like the
the
shrimp
shrimp,
flavored.
yes. Okay, I think we're on the same page because they had a couple different brands, so I'm making sure we're on the same page about what brand it was.
Yeah, the shrimp ramen in the cup, and because Silva, small town, college nearby,
Yes,
the ramen goes by super fast.
it does. They come in and all those broke college kids, stock that shit up.
So it was like, yeah, sometimes you're stuck buying the shrimp ramen, which is absolutely horrible.
Yeah, my favorite kind was the blue pack. They called it Oriental back then. Um,
Okay.
they changed the name now, but yeah, my favorite pack was the blue pack, and I always made mine a little bit different because I would make it for my youngest sibling because she's like 15 years younger than I am. So I remember, instead of some people would put the seasoning into the water. I never. My stepmom did that way, but I never did that. I would boil it like I would, get it soft, drain it, put it back in the bowl, put the seasoning in it, then put water and mix it up again because I felt it was strong. It was the seasoning was better that way. If I
Oh,
did it while it was boiling in the pot, I felt like it was diluted. So I could I just didn't like it as much.
oh, I always did mine with I would boil the water with the packet, and then I would add it after it boiled,
Of
stir
course,
it,
right? Yeah.
and then, like I said, with the seafood, the shrimp one, I would add my canned tuna to the mix
Ah.
while it was boiling,
Oh, okay.
and that would thicken it up, and then to make it really nasty, just a little touch of mayonnaise.
Oh. Oh. After you took it out of the water, right?
Yeah, after I took it out
Oh,
of the
oh God,
water.
thank God, dude. I'm gonna say you're a sick fuck if you did that shit. You're a sick fuck if you put that in there. That reminds me of growing up. Like we had a big family, so for us it was always my stepmom would make these massive amounts of hamburger helper on like Monday, right? And this is when hamburger helper was actually halfway decent. Now it's absolute garbage. But or maybe it always was, but as a kid you just didn't know any better. But anyway, she would make like several packs of hamburger helper, and she'd cook it on I think a Sunday or Monday, and we eat it through Wednesday or Thursday. And it's just like you want to eat dinner. There's some hamburger helper. Again. I liked it, and we always did like the stroganoff, and we
Mm,
make a bunch of stroganoff stuff. And after a few days, you tell it's starting to get kind of funky because of the milk. It's time to throw this away, But we stretch that shit out.
yeah,
So
I mean,
people who don't eat leftovers, I have to wonder what's wrong with you because I've always eaten leftovers.
yeah,
That's always how it's
cheeseburger
leftovers.
macaroni.
That one wasn't bad. That wasn't bad.
Well, see, no, I didn't know that it was hamburger helper. I mean, it was like you should just make like the Kraft macaroni and cheese and ground up some like brown some hamburger, and then mix it in with some bacon bits into the Kraft macaroni and cheese.
Well, see, for us, we did Velveeta because my stepmom didn't really eat like regular cheese like that.
Yeah.
So we always did Velveeta cheese, and so she would make the mac and cheese with Velveeta, and she'd make of course a giant ass pot. Obviously, she's making for 8 people, so it's in fucking bulk. So
Yeah.
and and she still makes it now. It's great. I still love that stuff. It's still now
Yes.
as I'm older, Velveeta does not sit well with me like it used to, but I still enjoy it. It's still really good.
Yes. I'll eat it. I mean, and just so you know, Velveeta, in case you did not know, has their own version of Hamburger Helper,
You know what? I think I've seen that before.
and it is actually good. It is actually very good.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's still not gourmet dining, but I mean,
Oh,
if you're just
oh yeah. I mean, we're just talking about like college / bachelor diets at this point. Things you eat when it's just you and you're young, you're broke as shit. So you have to kind of eat what you can.
well,
Remember that?
I will eat the Velveeta one right now, and I will like literally divide the pan up into like half,
And by pan,
and
do you mean like a family sized dish, baking dish?
yeah,
Is that what you mean?
well, I'll cook up a whole pan of Hamburger Helper,
Yeah,
or not hamburger, the Velveeta, whatever the Velveeta calls it.
yeah.
And I'll divide it up, put half in the refrigerator, and save it for later. And I will
Right.
eat the other half like for the whole day. Just be like just munching
Ah,
on that thing the whole day.
okay. I thought you do it in one sitting. So damn, Jason. But it reminds me like when my ex wife and I we plan our meals throughout the week. So we would do like these casserole type things, and we do like a baked spaghetti, or we do a stroganoff or something like that. And we would do like we eat it for like 3 meals, maybe do a taco night. We had leftovers for at least one night, so we just heat up theirs and eat it for one night, and that's what we did. Um, so I've got used to the idea of making food in bulk because there's always like a family of people to feed, and people like me, well, I could eat someone at a house, a home, literally. So having that for me was a way for the household to eat, because my stepmom told me when I went to college and I moved out that she saved $90 a week in groceries, and this is early 2000s. Okay, I'm thinking, oh, she's exaggerating. And then I got out of college and started buying my own food. So yeah, God, she said at least $90 a week in groceries, at least $90 a week, because I by far ate more than anyone in the house, by far, even more than my brother John, who's a hunter, who's a kind of a stocky guy, and
Yeah.
my dad, who is a big. You met my dad once, right? You met
Yes.
him one time. He's a big guy, right?
Yeah.
I could out eat him like he was 100 pound, like 100 pound model. It was crazy how much I could put away. And I know you see me eat too, so I mean,
Yeah.
I like it's kind of it's amazing. My ex girlfriend would say like, I eat a burger in 3 bites. Like, how would you eat that so fast? Like, yeah, that's me 20 years ago, babe. You got to see me 20 years ago. This is nothing.
Yeah. Well, I
Trust me,
mean,
nothing.
I think I don't know if that's an all man thing about eating fast, cause you put the plate in front of me, and I always hate that when like me and my wife were going out to a restaurant, they would bring me my plate first, and I just gotta sit there and just look at the food like, hurry up and bring her so I could go ahead and eat.
Yeah, I think after a while, my ex-wife said, "Dave, just eat," because I get irritated because we get home and I'd want to start making dinner or whatever, and or we even better, we order something, we have something delivered, or I go pick up something on the way, and she's like, I'm gonna take a shower." I said, really? You can't eat first? And I'd wait. I try waiting. After a while, she's like, David, just eat. I'll eat when I get done.
Yeah.
I'm like,
But
okay.
my wife would want to take a picture of her food.
Oh yeah, my
And by
stepmom
the
did
time
that.
she's finished taking the pictures and everything, she's got the right picture and she's posted it on Facebook or whatever. I've already about
You're Isabel goes like, Jason, I'm hungry, damn it. That's funny.
yeah, I'm
Um,
gonna eat. There's food in front of me, and yeah, are you hungry? I can eat.
I want to eat while it's hot. Get it while it's hot and fresh. It's not cold and all that. It's
Exactly.
not the
And
same. Yeah.
Yeah, I just don't like waiting. I mean, what's the point of waiting?
No, exactly. I'm with you on that. You go out to eat, you want fresh. Why you want to eat cold food? I don't comprehend that. But they should be bringing food at the same time anyway. So that's how they should be doing it.
Yes, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it when other people. I've got my food, but no one else at the table has their food because it's sitting there in front of me, and I feel like the cartoon character with the aromas that are grabbing my nose, pulling me to it, like eat me.
Like that old cartoon, is a little smell going, ah,
Yeah,
it brings you in.
like
That's
why? Why? I mean, you're
that's
just
funny.
torturing me, and
I
it's like
know.
you everybody else at the table just wanting to wait, and then where's everybody else's food?
I know. It's
But
rude to eat until our base food gets there.
would you rather be the first one served or the last one served?
Well, I eat faster than everybody else, so I tell people go ahead and eat because I'll catch up to you anyway. So go ahead and eat because we'll get done about the same time. So you go ahead and start eating, and I'll get mine, and we'll get done about the same time.
Yeah, because I've been there one time where they got my order wrong, and so they had to send it back to the kitchen. Everybody else at that table's got their food, and I'm just sitting there like, oh,
No, I'll tell them. So y'all go ahead and eat. It's fine. I will catch up. Trust me. Because
oh
I
yeah. I
know
mean,
what time
yeah, but
because we were late. We know we'll have to wait on somebody. I mean, I'm not gonna make you wait. Eat while it's hot. I will survive. And
mm-hmm.
some people were serving said, no, eat. It's okay. I'll be fine. Eat. I'm not upset about it. You know. um,
A
but yeah,
little upset because I'm sitting there watching you enjoy your food, and I'm
yeah.
just like,
Well, yeah,
I
I'm just upset because my food's not like I'm not mad at them for getting their food. I'm mad for not having my food.
yeah.
Like, give me my food, damn it. All right, well, we're actually over an hour right now for this, so I think we should probably wrap it up. We won't go too long and bore people to death, but this I think it's ended up being a pretty good talk. I mean,
Yeah.
I the quick thoughts, Jason. Do you think it's better when we just kind of talk off the cuff like this, or just come in with a general plan in place?
Well, I don't know because like when we're just like random talking like today, it's like it seems like we go on and on and on and on, and I don't think we really have a cutoff point.
No, I mean, I think the general idea is to go about an hour because anything longer than an hour, people, oh my god, I'm not listening to that. That's too long. I got shit to do. I got a
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
You
Who do
know,
these people
so
think they are? Joe Rogan?
I know, right? Joe Rogan, bitches. That's right. It's 3 hour freaking podcast. And as a listener, I'm the kind of guy when I was doing Uber and stuff, or I was doing gigs, I would listen to stuff like this on the way home. Like I would cut it on. I went to Wilmington for a background for a couple of TV shows a couple of years ago. I just play it and listen to it on the way home. So I use it, or if I was Uber or whatever, and I take a long ride on the way back, I listen to it. And that's what I used it for. I mean, a lot of people probably use it for like when they're at the airport or something like that.
Yeah. I used to get in my car and listen to a 4 hour YouTube video on Caesar's Gaelic War.
Yeah, and obviously for those out there, Jason loves history. If you have picked up on that yet, he likes history. So, um,
I'm a
so
middle aged white man. That's what we do.
that's especially in the South. That's about right on point.
You either get into grilling or you get into history.
Yeah, exactly.
Or both.
Sometimes doing it while you're grilling steaks on the grill. You
Yeah.
do both at the same time. All right. Well, I think we should wrap it up here, Jason. Anything else you want to add?
No.
All right, because we probably go another hour if we kept talking.
Yes.
Anyway, that's all for this podcast. I still got to create a title for it. I got some ideas. I'll figure out a title. But thanks for listening and or watching. If you like this kind of random talk, subscribe, notification bell on YouTube. Please follow on Podbean and be a part of the channel. Comment anything you want to see talked about that you find interesting. Let us know. We might brand it. We may get into it. So as always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.